done this. Okay, so last we did an experiment in which we took two lungs, yes, two cadaveric lungs. We inflated one with air, and the other we inflated with normal saline. Okay, and we looked at their compliance. Both of their compliance had a lot of differences. This experiment was done to study the role of elastic recoil and surface tension forces in compliance. Okay, I did a lot. We covered a lot in the last lecture. At the end of that last lecture, but just to revise this, these are the questions that can come from that particular segment of the lecture. So this topic, air-filled versus fluid-filled lung, is a favorite university question. And these are the questions that usually come in all three formats of the exam. Okay? You may be asked in a viva to define surface tension. How does it affect compliance or lung volume? And what is the difference between the elastic forces and the surface tension forces in compliance? Okay? For which we did this experiment, and we found out that compliance is very, very, very high in the lung we inflated with normal saline. What is the point there? I won't ask this question, I'll just answer it because questions are coming up. The difference between fluid-filled and air-filled lung. The reason why the fluid-filled lung is so distendable is because you have introduced fluid in it, which has removed the surface tension. Now, we need to quickly go back to surface tension. What is surface tension? Surface tension is the tension amongst water molecules on the surface of a liquid, where it forms the meniscus, the topmost layer of any liquid. If it's water, especially pure water, then the topmost layer will have it's like a film of fluid, because the molecules of water, they come together and stick together because they have an interface, they are facing the air. So whenever there is an air fluid interface, whenever fluid will come in touch with air, the fluid will exhibit surface tension. The topmost layer will go into tension. If you remove the air, there won't be any surface tension. So when you filled the second lung with air, you were filling it with air. Where did the fluid come from? The lining of the alveoli has fluid in it, right? So that fluid, which is necessary because it is live tissue, थोड़ी बहुत secretions होती हैं. So though that layer of fluid in the alveoli came in touch with the inspired air, the pumped up air that you put in. There was an interface of liquid and air, surface tension was created. Yes? And surface tension acted for lung compliance or against lung compliance? It's the typical MCQ question. It was against, because it wants to collapse the lung. It wants to shut it down. Why? Because those molecules, the top layer molecules, contract. Now just put this layer, contracting layer, as a lining of the alveoli. So when this layer will contract inside a spherical alveolus, it will contract the alveolus, collapse it, inward movement, right? So it acts very similar to the normal, to the inherent elastic recoil of the lung. So now you know that there are actually two forces working in a normal lung to contract it at all times. You knew elastic recoil, but today you also know that surface tension forces also do the same thing. Which one is more? This experiment tells you which one is more. How? Because in the fluid-filled lung, you removed one of these forces. Which one? Surface tension. Did you remove elastic recoil force? You couldn't have. You can't. That is inside the tissue of the lung. we did not do anything to the tissue. We just filled it with saline, one we filled it with air. But look at the compliance difference. It really is remarkable in the sense that a normal graph is slanted like this of compliance, yes? This is like this. So every unit change in what is along the x-axis? Pressure. There was a remarkable change along y-axis. It's right in front of you. Okay? So this is the curve that I'm talking about. Which means that surface tension forces are much more at play in the lung as compared to elastic recoil. Elastic recoil is of course there. But when you compare these two forces, again, new information for you, surface tension forces account for 2/3 of these forces and elastic recoil accounts for 1/3. This is again a UQ. The 2/3, 1/3 comparison is a very important question. And since I've connected it with the surface tension forces and the elastic recoil, you understand how this is a very heavy conceptual question that can be asked, even discussed in a while. Okay? This shows the examiner the depth you have of this concept of compliance. Questions? All right. So hysteresis, finally, hysteresis is that difference between the inspiratory compliance curve and the expiratory compliance curve. Check out the hysteresis in the saline filled lung as compared to the air filled lung. Again, this is point number 3 to note, not to physically note, to note in the head. Okay, that when you are asked about hysteresis, an off-throwing question can come if you are not prepared. That what comment on the hysteresis of a fluid-filled lung versus a air-filled lung. You should know that hysteresis in the fluid-filled lung will be very less as compared to the air-filled lung. And if you are asked for a justification of this, you should give a good answer for that. Okay, very quickly, how does the lung? Of course, we have just discussed the bad part of surface tension. Okay, you would think, okay, surface tension is bad. There is no run around the fluid presence in the alveoli. There is not. There are cells. They will be wet. They will secrete. They will give out some water, and it's okay really. We don't want dry alveoli. So, what to do? There's such a potent force sitting inside the alveoli. What to do? Well, have you ever tried washing clothes? How many of you have actually washed clothes? The wife needs a helping hand. So. Right, well done. Now, how many of you have tried washing clothes in water only? The bucket style. Bucket of water, you put in your shirt or whatever, and then there is a wrestling match. Have you wrestled with the water? हाँ बेटे ठीक हो गया. I am with you. वो हाथ खड़ा करके भूल गए कि उनका हाथ खड़ा हुआ. कितने लोगों के कपड़े धो रहे हैं आप? Okay. What do you do? Because there's surface tension on the top layer of the water in the bucket. So when you try to push anything in, it will resist. Who is here from the northern areas? This phenomena is much more, in hard water as compared to the river water that you get in the big cities. So that top layer of the water will resist you introducing anything in it because of surface tension. What do? Surf excel. Jog. Break up. It's not just for the smell, people, or removal of the dirt. It actually reduces surface tension. It breaks it up. It lathers up. It breaks up the surface tension forces, and in goes the shirt. Right? So what do you want us to do? Inhale surf excel? Of course not. That will not be nice. what do we have? We actually have something in the lung. We call it surfactant. Where does it say the surfactant? Okay, it doesn't say surfactant. Surface active agent. Anyway, yeah. Anyway, we have the word surfactant. Surfactant is a little chemical thing produced normally in the lungs by type 2 alveolar epithelial cells. So the lining of the alveoli normally produces a chemical which has detergent quality. Don't write it, don't ever reproduce that. It decreases surface tension. So normally we have this thing, and this is the composition of it. This is released by these alveolar cells, and it decreases the surface tension of that fluid lining the alveoli. Done? Kids, babies who are born prematurely lack surfactant. So they, whenever there is an obs team ready to deliver a premature baby, they're ready for what? What are they ready for? As soon as the little guy comes, they put him to respiratory support, because his or her lung would not. This you should be able to think now. No surfactant, high surface tension, brand new lung, which is normally collapsed inside the uterus. The baby is out. What won't he be able to do? Normally, babies cry and thak karke the lungs open, right? This one won't be able to cry. So there are procedures to induce crying, and there are procedures to, even while the mother is still carrying the baby and there is a risk of her delivering the baby prematurely, there are medicines that are given to the mother which induce some secretion of the surfactant. Okay. With that done, when the baby actually arrives, there is a emergency peds team ready for it with respiratory support, and it's managed very nicely. Okay, these days. Questions? This is another UQ. This comes on the 4th page of Guyton. It's a UQ. You will be given a scenario of a newborn baby. Look for the word prematurely. That's your cue, and he will ask you what's wrong with it, etc., etc. They will home into your knowledge of A, compliance, B, surface tension forces, C, surfactant.
What are surfactant additives?
These are the constituents, the chemical composition of surfactant. Okay.